Anthropic just dropped their latest model, and this is a big deal. If you recall, a few months ago, you might have heard of something called Claude Mythos, which was essentially a model that was so powerful that they couldn't make it accessible to the general public because it's found so many bugs in different softwares that they were worried that if they were to release it, people will start exploiting these vulnerabilities. Well, today, a few hours ago, Anthropic just dropped a version of Mythos with safeguards to make sure that topics that could be used for harm are taken away. And that's what Claude Fable 5 is. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what's changed, what you should use it, and we're actually going to compare it with Opus 4.8 to see just how much of an improvement this is. So, without further ado, let's go. Claude Fable and Claude Mythos 5. Now, you might see these two different names and be a little confused by the naming. Here's what happens simply. If you read through this entire thing, which I did, essentially what happens is this. Mythos Preview was the version that they were worried about. And that's the one they made available through their project called Project Glasswing. They gave access to Microsoft and a couple of different providers to test with. That's the old one that came out in April. Now, they actually released two new models, Mythos 5 and Fable 5. We have access to Fable 5, which is essentially just Mythos with safeguards, like I said. And Mythos 5 is essentially the continuation of the Project Mythos or the Mythos model. Same models, essentially, same underlying models, only difference being one of them has safeguards in it. And you can see this, right? If you read through the entire documentation, you'll see they'll talk about it here. They do use the word safeguards quite a bit. So right here, it says, for a small group of cyber defenders and infrastructure providers, we're also launching Claude Mythos 5, the same underlying model as Fable 5, but with a safeguard lifted in some areas. That's about it. These are identically the same. With that in mind, let's take a look at some of these stats to see how much better of an improvement this is. Just looking at these statistics, this is essentially better across the board, and it's not a small jump either. Better agentic coding compared to 4.8. Better on both of these tests. Knowledge work got better. Vision got a big boost. They were talking about how the fact that it was playing, It was playing like this. It was playing Pokemon, and they didn't give it any rules or anything like that, and it just understood how to play the game simply using vision, which is huge if you're doing any sort of computer work or if you're doing anything where you want the model to actually look at images. Spatial reasoning got better, tool use got better. And if you see here, this is Mythos or Fable 5 versus Mythos Preview versus 4.8. So we're really comparing, just for argument's sake, we're really comparing this to this, right? We never really got access to this, so you can ignore it. After that, biology, agentic coding, which is probably what most people care about here, is just, can this code better? Can I make more stuff? So across the board, Mythos is much better. Now, how do you access it? Well, if you're on the Claude app, all you gotta do, refresh your page, and for the time being, it's available until June 22nd to all plans, and then it's actually going away, and you will have to pay using the API. And you can see this by clicking here. Essentially, it says, we expect demand for Fable to be very high. From today through June 22, Fable 5 is included in Pro Max, Team, and Seed-based enterprise plans at no cost. However, on June 23rd, it'll switch to API costs. So that's how you access it. And once you're in Claude, just hover on the right-hand side, and you will see now it says Claude or Fable 5. If you're on Claude Code, which to me was the most interesting part, all you'd have to do is open up whatever terminal you're in, type in Claude update, and then it'll do whatever it has to do. And you give it a sec, and it will then update. And you know you've done it right. You've done it right when you can just type in Claude, give it a sec, and it should say here Fable 5. If it doesn't say Fable 5, you want to do /model. And then you'll be able to pick between all of the different models that are available. And now what I want to do, to see how much better this model actually is. Because yes, we can sit here and we can talk about how much better it is and how crazy this model is, but it's actually tested on something. What I want to do is actually recreate a video that I made maybe 2 weeks ago when a 4.8 came out, and I actually want to test out Fable 5. So I'm going to use Fable. I'm going to open up a new chat. Open up a new window, actually. So what I'm now going to do is I've got two terminals open. One of them I'm going to have Opus 4.8, and the other one I'm going to have Fable 5. I'm essentially going to give them the same prompt and see what comes up. So I'm going to go for more of a design thing because I think it'll be easier to see which one's performing best. And just to make sure that we're on the same one, this is going to be, if I do Claude, this should now say Claude on it. And this one, I'm actually going to change the model. So you can see here, I'm currently on Fable 5 here. And this one, I want to change it back to model. Let's go back to default, which is Opus 4.8. Now what I'm going to tell it is, I want you to design me a dashboard for a company And this dashboard should show metrics that are important to me so that I can essentially keep track of how well we're doing, how much time we have. This is mainly for demo purposes. So where I really want your effort to be is in the design of the dashboard and how it looks. I want you to generate me HTML. Go do your best, go all out, do not hold anything back, because I will use this design that you create to judge whether or not to keep using you. So go all out, do not hold anything back. Obviously far from a perfect prompt, but what I'm looking for is, does this create a significantly better experience? So without further ado, let's go. So these agents have been running for about 5 minutes now. If you see here exactly 8 minutes. It's interesting because if you look on the right-hand side, this one has been working for 8 and it started to build it. However, Fable is still thinking about what to build. I thought that was an interesting sort of pivot. So I will come back as soon as they have something ready to show. And we have our first submission back. This is actually the one from Opus 4.8. If I open this back up, you'll see that this is what it gave me back. While this thing, Fable is still thinking, so this must be some crazy dashboard it's coming up with. But I told it to go all out, and it looks like it went all out. This is pretty freaking cool. Off of one prompt, it's kind of crazy too. Everything seems, I can't really drill down into anything, which kind of sucks. I wonder if I can click anywhere. No, I can't click anywhere. And if I click on all, it just sort of goes back here. It looks super pretty though. So I am interesting. Cash on hand, monthly burn. I am super curious. These buttons work, which is cool. Revenue. Okay, so these other buttons don't work, however. So it very much is just a dashboard. So it created all of these tabs, but they don't do anything. Got my name in here too, which is kind of cool. So that's what Opus 4.8 came with. And as soon as I see back, now the big reveal is, will Fable 5 come up with something better than this? And we now have what Fable came up with. So it took about, let's see here, took a little bit longer, took about 21 minutes compared to Opus's 11 minutes. So about twice as long. However, the difference is telling. So while Opus, if you look here, these are the two side by side. Opus is very much just essentially a really pretty image. You can't click on much. There's some moving elements. Once you go into Fable, first of all, there's this AI brief thing here that shows up. The elements look a lot more premium, and I can also select, you see this little, and this animation right here looks freaking gorgeous. I'm seeing this for the first time as well. Run save plays, save list open, 130 at-risk accounts, amazing. Q2 objective. It also seems a lot more in depth and a lot better. Like there's activity here, there's net burn, customer health. If I click here, pricing V2, MRR in June, net ARR, it feels a lot more premium. And also, it didn't build, one thing I noticed, it didn't build anything or tabs that don't mean anything. So on Opus, you'll notice it has revenue, customers, runaway. Like, you know when people say stuff is vibe coded? This is what they mean. Like there's a button here that doesn't do anything. And even the copy button here works. Like I just copied this and it actually worked. If I click on export, PDF will land in your inbox in about 1 minute. Okay, well that doesn't do anything. 3 notifications, viewed the contract twice today. I wonder if I can actually search anything. I can. Go to pipeline and deals. Let's see if that actually does anything. It does. That's amazing. Okay. This is a huge, even the settings says ASCO for this demo. So hopefully by seeing how much more in depth this thing is, it's almost, you know what it feels like? It feels like Opus was 2D and Fable is 3D. Like there is depth to what it's building. It's not just throwing stuff on the screen because you told it to. The help page, my icon here doesn't do anything. Overall, this seems like a massive improvement, especially given the fact that I didn't really give it much instructions. So with that, that is Fable for you. New model just came out. It's essentially Mythos, but with some more guardrails. Hopefully this video was helpful in seeing the differences between both of them. I really do like that analogy or that visualization of the fact that Opus is 2D and executes really well. Fable, though, we've gone to a whole new world of 3D, and I just can't wait to build bigger and bigger applications with this. Now, if you're serious about wanting to learn more about how to use Fable, we run one of the biggest AI communities on School. We have over 1,400 people in there. So if you're serious about learning AI, I will see you in there. Otherwise, thank you for watching.